So let's just choose whether we'd like to start in a seated position or a reclined position. Get what you need to be comfortable to ensure that the spine is in a nice straight line, and perhaps closing the eyes. We're just taking these first few moments to bring your full attention to the present moment. And you might like to say to yourselves a few times, I recognize the need for silence and stillness in my life. I recognize the need for silence and stillness in my life. There is great power in the art of stopping. Thank yourself for taking the time to pause from your day-to-day life, to dive deep within and be with yourself. So we're going to commence our practice with a minute or so of silence. Just allowing yourselves these first few moments to dwell in space, in silence, in emptiness. In the book Silence by Thich Nhat Hanh, he says, silence is essential. We need silence just as much as we need air, just as much as plants need light. If our minds are crowded with words and thoughts, there is no space for us. Even if we're not talking with others, reading, listening to the radio, watching television, or interacting online, most of us don't feel settled or quiet. This is because we're still tuned to an internal radio station, Radio NS, non-stop thinking. Even when we're sitting still with no external stimuli, an endless internal dialogue may be going on in our head. We're constantly consuming our thoughts, unfortunately, primarily negative thoughts. We eat them and then we bring them up to chew again and again, like a cow chewing its cud. How can we enjoy our steps if our attention is given over to all that mental chatter? It's important to become aware of what we feel, not just what we think. When we touch the ground with our foot, we should be able to feel our foot making contact with the ground. When we do this, we can feel a lot of joy in just being able to walk. When we walk, we can invest all our body and mind into our steps and be fully concentrated in each precious moment of life. In focusing on that contact with the earth, We stop being dragged around by our thoughts and begin to experience our body and our environment in a wholly different way. So the invitation this morning is to be in your body as much as possible, to connect with the earth beneath your feet. And whenever you find that you're back in the mind, to try to climb out of the mind and come back down into the body, even just directing the gaze down towards your feet to the earth. And also this morning to focus on the gaps, the spaces between breaths. In the truest sense, yoga can be defined as the practice of moving into stillness, of moving into a state of pure awareness. The silent space between breaths, between thoughts, and inner stillness that enables us to experience the truth of who we are. So if you're lying down, just start now to deepen the breath, have a little bit of a stretch, and slowly make your way up to a seated position. We're going to chant 3 Oms. And as we did last week, those of you who are with me, we're going to focus on the often forgotten part of the chant, which is the silent space at the end of each chant, each Om. So 3 Oms, and our gaze, our attention is on that little bit of space before we prepare for the next chant. If you'd like to, bring the hands into Namaskar Mudra, prayer position at the heart space. Nice tall spine, shoulders softening, face soft. Eyes can be open or closed, whatever you're comfortable with. Exhale all breath. And then breathing in. And then gently bow your head down towards your heart, looking deep within. And lift the head up, release the hands. We're going to come up to stand now. So just take your time to come to stand. Clearing everything off your mat. We're going to start off with one of my favorite practices, which is the tapping the whole body, just to make sure we're awake, alert. It's a stimulating practice. It's an energizing practice. So just standing with the feet comfortably apart, and let's reach down to the top of the left foot and just start to tap all over the top of the foot. Even lift it up and tap the sole of the foot. And then come to the ankle, the calf and the shin. And the knee, all around the knee, and your thigh, all around the thigh, and the left hip, and the buttock, lower back, and the abdomen on the left side, mid-rib cage, and the chest just on the left side. Going up to the shoulder, the upper back, the armpit, and then all the way down this left arm. Really good to do this under a cold shower, especially in winter. Down to the wrist, hand, both sides of the hand. And then let's come up lightly on your neck, Soft tapping and the jaw and the cheek and the ear and the forehead and the temple, and then the top of the head, side of the head and the back of the head. And then we'll swap over, right side of the head and the forehead and the temple, the ear, the cheek, the jaw, lightly on the neck, the upper back, the shoulder, armpit, all the way down this right arm, down to the wrist, the hand, the fingers, both sides of the hand, up again, and then just on the chest, rib cage, abdomen, lower back, buttock, hip, and then coming down this right thigh, all around the thigh, to your knee, your calf and your shin, ankle, top of the foot, and even under the foot. Good. Come up. You might like to shake the hands, keep the feet hip width, little bend in the legs, and let's go into a bit of bouncing. So you might keep sighing the breath out through the mouth. You might sway a little bit. Imagine you're letting go of any tension from the week, frustrations, worries. Send this stuff down into the earth beneath you. Let the earth absorb it. And then it can be transformed into something new. This is a really good grounding practice if you do spend a lot of time in your head, just feeling the connection with the earth beneath the feet. Great to do this outside. I'm standing on a beach or on some dirt, some earth, grass. Good. And then just slow that down. Come into Tadasana, mountain pose. Find your inner mountain, shoulders back and down. The heart is open. You might close the eyes. Take a breath or two here. Just observe what's going on inside. We're going to work now with I think most of you know this, a Qigong cleansing water practice. So I invite you to visualize yourself in a beautiful body of water, whether it's the ocean or whether you're in a river or a stream, in a water hole, near a waterfall. And we're going to come down. You can watch if you're not familiar with this, and imagine we're taking our hands through the water, scooping this beautiful, fresh, pure water up, bringing up above the head. And as we exhale, it flows down over the face, the chest, hands come to the belly, and then we rub down the inner thighs all the way down, around up the backs of the legs, right up over your buttocks to the lower back. And then we do it again. So breathing in, reach down, scoop up that beautiful, fresh, pure water. And exhale, let it wash away the old, the stale, the negative, the unwanted. Down to the ground, rub up the backs of the legs over your buttocks. So 3 more. Breathe in. Fresh, crystal clear, pure water. The backs of the legs. And last one. And release. Come back to stand into your mountain, If you're comfortable with the eyes closed, take a breath or two here. So we're going to work just a few rounds of a breathing practice. Again, it's a really grounding practice, and it's good for those of us who spend a bit too much time in our heads. So it helps us climb out of our head, down into the body, connecting with the earth. So with the eyes closed, let's take our awareness up into the sky. And as we breathe in, we're going to imagine drawing breath, light, energy from the sky down through our crown. We bring it down to the belly. We pause for a second or two. And then we exhale, sending that breath, sending the awareness down the legs and into the earth, 2 or 3 feet down below the earth's surface. So as we breathe in, we're drawing light, energy, prana from the sky down through the crown. Take it to the belly, pause. And as you exhale, send that energy, that awareness, that light down your legs and deep into the earth. 3 more of these. When you finish, gently release. You can blink the eyes open. And we're going to start to just loosen up some of our joints, beginning with our down the bottom of the body, so the ankles. If you feel a little bit wobbly, have a chair, or you can even have a hand on a wall. Otherwise, the hands can be on the hips. We're going to begin by having the weight in the left foot and pick up the right and just make some nice slow circles with this right foot, not losing our height. So imagine there's an invisible cord connected to the crown of the head, lifting you up towards the heavens. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed. The skin of the face is soft. Breath is flowing. And then reversing. Good. Let's place that right foot down, lift the left leg up and circling into that left ankle, noticing how this side feels compared to the first. Might feel the same, it might feel quite different. No judgment. And reverse. Good. Place it down, feet together, spread your toes, little bend in the legs, hands onto your knees, and we're going to circle our knees. So give them a little bit of a loving massage, loving touch, thanking our knees for all they do for us every day, helping us move about in the world. Easy to take these joints for granted. And reverse. Important as we get older to build up the muscles around these joints, to support the joints. Good, and release. Okay, moving up to our hips. This one's another bit of a balance, so feel free to have a hand on a wall if you feel a bit wobbly this morning. So we'll shift the weight into the left foot, standing nice and tall, and we're going to pick the right leg up. And as we exhale, take it out to the side. Watch this shoulder. It often wants to move around in the direction of this knee. So we try to keep the shoulders square to the front. Inhale, take it behind, and exhale, lower the foot. Now we reverse, so breathe in, take it out to the side, watching this left shoulder. Inhale in front and down. So let's try the other side. Breathe in Breathe out. Take it behind and down. Lift it up to the side, in front and down. Let's do 2 more to each side. Out to the side, forward and down. Keep lengthening up through the crown top, standing tall. Make sure you're not clenching the teeth. Behind, to the side, watching the shoulder, forward and down. Breathe in. Last one. Good. When you finish, release the hands. Take a breath or two there. Softening the shoulders. Perhaps a gentle smile on your lips. Okay, let's do a little bit of squatting now. So we'll interlace the fingers over the heart. Feet are hip width apart. I'll do this sideways so you can get a better perspective here. So standing nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. Breathe in here. And as we breathe out, we're going to come into our squat and we take the hands directly out in front. Now you might just be coming to here. Some of you might be able to come down a lot lower. It's not a competition. Then we come up to stand, hands back to the heart. And then the hands come to eye level. Inhale, standing tall. And lastly, hands go above the head. Breathe in. So let's do that again. Exhale, hands to level of the heart. Inhale, standing tall. And hands to eye level. Standing tall. And arms above the head. You can always separate the hands if that's better. Breathe in. Let's try one more. So directly in front of the heart. Tuck the chin in a little. Inhale. To eye level. And above the head. Come back. Release your hands. And again, take a breath or two here. Okay, a little bit more squatting. We're going to work with chair, Utkatasana, a flowing sequence where we move into a forward fold. I think most of you or all of you know this, but feel free to watch the first one if you're not sure. So feet are hip width, shoulders back. Tuck the chin in a little so the back of the neck is long. Exhale all breath. And then breathing in, raise the arms above the head. And as you breathe out, come into your imaginary chair. Now, if this is a bit strong for your shoulders, hands can go to your thighs. Breathe in as we hold chair. And as we breathe out, we tip forward into our forward fold. So legs can stay bent or straighten. Inhale, we lift up halfway. And exhale, we fold and we stay here for a breath. Bend your legs. We come back through chair, standing tall, palms together. Exhale. So that's one. We're doing 4 more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Utkatasana. Breathe in as you hold this. And breathe out, tip forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands might be on the shins or fingertips on your mat. Exhale, fold down and stay here for a breath. Bend your legs, come back into chair. Standing tall. Exhale. Good. Let's keep going. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Tip forward. Lift up halfway. And lower and stay for a breath. Bend your legs into chair. Standing tall. Tadasana. Synchronize the movement with your breath. Remembering a breath brings the poses to life. There's no yoga without the breath. As you exhale, tip forward. Lift up halfway. And lower and pause here for a breath. Bend your legs into chair. Standing tall. Tadasana. Good. Last one. The final time we hold chair, I'll give you the option of staying there and working with a little variation. That's optional. Tip forward. Lift up halfway. And lower and stay for a breath. Inhale back into chair. Now you can just come straight up to stand. Otherwise we're holding, shifting the weight into the left foot and see if you can lift that right foot. Pausing, holding, keep breathing. Fantastic for strengthening our legs, strengthening the muscles in the legs. Good, and then place the right foot down. Can you lift the left foot up? Keep smiling. And lower the left foot. Inhale, stand tall, palms together. And exhale, hands to the heart and pause. You might sigh the breath away. Hopefully feeling really alive now. Energized, stimulated. Shoulders softening. And breath flowing. I'll work now with a few rounds of circle of joy. So keeping the hands in prayer as we inhale, interlace the fingers, raise the elbows. And as we exhale, we round the back. Inhale, stretch up tall. And exhale, arms float down. Interlace the fingers behind you. Breathe into the heart. See if you can squeeze the palms together and lift the arms up. Inhale, palms touch, and exhale. Now we're adding on. So breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, stretch up tall, and we're going to lean over to the left side. You can separate the arms if this is better for your shoulders. Breathe yourself back to center, tuck the chin in a little, and lean over to the right side. Inhale, center. Exhale. Interlacing the fingers. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift the arms. Inhale, bring the palms back in front. And exhale. Okay, we're adding on again. So breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Leaning over to the left. Back to center. Over to the right. Back to center. Arms float down. Now we're adding a forward bend. So breathe in, palms squeeze together. And as we breathe out, we come forward, lifting the arms up and overhead. Legs can be bent or straight here. Let's hold for a few breaths. Now carefully and slowly come up. Bring your palms back to touch. And exhale. One more. Again, we're adding on. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Leaning over to the left. Back to center. To the right. To center. Arms float down, interlace the fingers. Breathe into the heart. Into our forward fold. Now from here, release your hands down to the mat or down to your legs. And we're going to move into Ardha Mukha Svanasana, down face dog pose. If you need a little rest at this point, please feel free to drop down into child pose. Otherwise, we're holding dog. Let the head hang. You might blow the breath out through the mouth a few times. Looking for even weight here between hands and feet. Enjoying this beautiful stretch for the whole back of the body. Now you're welcome to stay in dog or in child. Those of you who'd like a bit of an extra challenge this morning, we're going to do some yogi push-ups. So let's drop our knees down, untuck the toes. Take the hands a little further forward than directly under your shoulders. So as we exhale, we're going to endeavor to lower the front chest down towards the mat, and inhale, push back up. So exhale, we lower, elbows tucked in, and lift up. Let's try 3 more. Lowering, and inhale, lift up. Down, and up. And last one. And up. You can push back into extended child for a breath or 2. And then we'll tuck the toes once again, make our way back into down face dog pose. And then walk our feet up towards our hands. So we finish circle of joy. So take your hands behind the body, interlace the fingers again into our variation of Uttanasana. And then carefully and slowly come all the way up. Bring the palms back to touch. And back to the heart. Take a breath or 2 here. Good. All right, we can work with a variation of Chandra Namaskara, salute to the moon, that I used to teach a lot. Haven't taught it in the last couple of years. So those of you who have not been practicing with me for a long time, you may not know this, Those of you who've been with me for a long time, hopefully you remember this. But you can always watch the first one. It's a beautiful, slow, very quiet version of Chandra Namaskar. It's very meditative. So let's see how we go. Feet are hip width or a little bit closer together. Hands are at prayer. Shoulders are relaxed. We're lengthening up through the crown top, tucking the chin in a little. Exhale all breath. Breathing in as we take the arms up above the head, stretching up tall. Breathing out, we lower the hands down through our center. We lower our legs, untuck the toes and sit. On the next inhale, we lower the right hand down. Next exhale, left hand down and we bow the head. Inhale in this position. Exhale, make soft fists. Inhale, open the palms. Exhale, close. Right hand comes back to your heart. Left hand comes back, so you're sitting. Tuck your toes. Now this is tricky. If you need to, you can use your hands to help you come up. Otherwise, you don't. Inhale, stretch all the way up. And hands back to your heart. So we're going to try 4 more of these. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep breathing out as you lower all the way down. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lower the right hand. Exhale, lower the left and bow your head down. Breathe in. And make soft fists. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Right hand to the heart. Left hand follows. Tuck your toes. Inhale, come up. Stand up tall. And exhale. Breathe in, link the movement with your breath. And breathe out. Right hand to the floor, left hand bowing the head. Inhale here. And make soft fists. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Right hand to the heart. Left hand follows. Tuck your toes. Inhale, stretch up. Back to the heart. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, lower the right hand and exhale the left, bow the head. Breathe in. Make soft fists. Open the palms and close. Right hand to the lower back, sorry, to the chest. Left hand follows. Tuck your toes. Inhale, stretch up tall. And exhale. Last one. Right hand lowers and left. Bow the head. Breathe in and make soft fists. Open the palms and close. Right hand to the heart. Left hand. Tuck your toes. Inhale. And exhale. Might like to close the eyes, take a breath or two here. Just noticing the subtle effects, the shifts and changes from each practice that we work with. If we're always rushing from one pose straight into the other, we don't get to notice these little shifts and changes. Okay, let's release the hands. So a couple more standing poses. All of our standing poses have a grounding effect and help us get out of the head. So let's work with Trikonasana. Take the legs wide, turn your right toes around, left toes in. Check your alignment. So the right heel in alignment with the arch of the back foot. Now we're going to work a little differently than just our traditional triangle. We did this a few weeks ago. Some of you might remember it. We're going to see if we can wrap this left arm around the back and reach for our right hip crease. If this doesn't work for you, you can just go into the normal triangle. And if it is on the hip crease, then we take this right hand and place it on top of the left hand. And then we start to lean over to this right side. So we're endeavoring to draw that hip crease back. Keep leaning over and then watch what's happening to this top left shoulder. If you're like me, it's coming forward a bit. So I need to consciously work to roll it back so that this left side of the chest stays open. It's not starting to close. If you feel a bit wobbly, press the right big toe into the mat and the outer edge of the back foot. Now you're welcome to stay here if you're enjoying this. Otherwise, release that right arm down and extend the left arm up. So ideally our arms are in a straight line and there's little or no weight in this bottom arm and hand. You can either be looking down, forward or up towards your left thumb if that's okay for your neck. And find your breath here. Good. Now, those of you who'd like to go a little bit further, this is optional. See if you can bring this right arm up. Take the left arm over and imagine you're holding a beautiful full moon. So 2 or 3 breaths here. And then when you're ready, stretch the arms all the way up and release the arms. Let's turn our legs, our feet around. So check again the front heel with the arch of the back foot. And if you'd like to, wrap this right arm around your back, reaching for your left hip crease. Then you might place this left hand on top and start to lean over. Otherwise, just going into our traditional triangle. So starting to lean over. Again, this side might feel quite different to the first side. That's okay. Watching this right shoulder isn't starting to creep forward. So we keep drawing that right shoulder back. The right side of the chest open. Again, if you feel a bit wobbly, press the left big toe into the mat and the outer edge of the right foot. Now you might stay here or release that left arm down, extend the right arm up, gazing down, forward or up. Breath is flowing. And those of you who'd like to extend a little more, see if you can bring this left arm up, take the right arm over the head a little bit, holding our beautiful full moon, 2 or 3 breaths here. And then standing tall and release the arms down. Release your legs and shake it out a little bit. And we'll go into one more standing pose. Legs are wide, outer edges of the feet are parallel. I think, again, all of you will have done this with me before. We're going to go into a forward twist. So we'll be taking the hand to the shin or the foot or the outside of the foot. And then you can watch the first one if you're not quite sure. So let's draw the shoulders back, heart open, face soft. Let's breathe in, raise the arms to shoulder height. So leaning over to the right leg first. So left hand goes to your shin, to the foot or the outside of the foot. This top hand can be on your sacrum, or if you've got the opening in the shoulder, extending the arm up. Inhale, come to a tabletop position, little pause. And then exhale over to the left side. Top hand on your sacrum, or perhaps up to the sky. Be careful of your neck. Inhale to tabletop, little pause. Exhale over to the right side. Inhale to tabletop. And exhale over to the left. Trying to keep the sacrum square, the hips square. Breathe yourself to center, little pause. And come over to the right. Inhale to tabletop. Over to the left. Now we're going to come all the way up to stand. Inhale, arms out to the side. And bring your hands to the heart. Take a breath. And release. Good work. All right, we're coming down into child pose. If you have a bolster or pillow or cushion, you're welcome to work with supported child pose, placing that prop between you. If you haven't got any props like me this morning, that's fine. We can work with any variation of child pose that we like. So one big toe on top of the other, your knees hip width or perhaps together, arms might be along by your side. Or you might be making fists with your hands and resting your forehead on your fists. We're just taking a little bit of time now to pause, to rest, to metabolize and integrate what we've just done into all of the levels of our being. Let the body soften. Let the body sink down either into Mother Earth or into the support of your bolster or pillows. While you're resting, I'd like to share with you a beautiful little poem from a guy called Gautama Robber. It's called Vast Openness. Don't talk about boundaries to winds and rivers and the sky and mountains and the moon. They have no countries or boundaries. They are free and wild. They have no fear. They have no worries. Instead, sit with them in silence. You will see your own boundary crashing down into vast openness. Then, wherever you are, is your home. So if you're lying over a bolster, you might turn your head the opposite way. So So in a moment, we're going to work with a hip opener. The gentle option is to lie on your back, legs in a semi-supine position. I'll just demonstrate if you're not sure. Right ankle on the left thigh, and then either the hand on the inside of the knee or interlacing your fingers under the left knee like this. Those of you who are up for a stronger hip opener will work again with preparation for King Pigeon like we did last week, those of you who were with me then. So you may need your bolster or a pillow to work with that. So either come to lie on your back and work with that gentler option, or come along with me. So we'll start on all fours. And we're going to bring that right knee behind the right wrist. So your right heel is just in front of the left hip. You can slide that left leg back a little bit, make sure it's straight. This is where you might need some support under the buttock, the thigh, if you can't get all the way down to the mat. Those of you who are a little more open in the hips, you might be able to walk this right leg out a little bit, creating more of a right angle, but we want to be upright and not unbalanced and leaning over to one side. Okay, so we can stay in this upright position. We can breathe into the heart, let the heart move forward. Beautiful stretch to work in this way. Otherwise, we can come down onto our forearms. Some of you might be able to come all the way down, forward to the mat. And some of you might even be able to tuck the left toes under and lift that left knee off the mat. We're connecting with your breath here. Good, and then we'll slowly come up and take that right leg back. Those of you on your back, just release. Those of you with me, you might like to take the right leg into the air behind you, just shake it out a little bit. Okay, so if you're on your back, just swapping sides now. And those of us on our all fours, left knee just behind the left wrist, left heel just in front of the right hip. Slide that right leg back a bit, make sure it's in a straight line, perhaps giving yourself a bit of support now under that left buttock, left thigh. If you are a little bit more open, you might be able to walk this foot out a little bit. So either staying in this upright position, softening the face, make sure you're not clenching the teeth, heart moving forward, or coming down onto your forearms, or lowering yourself all the way down and perhaps tucking your right toes and seeing if you can lift the right knee off the mat. So when you feel that you've worked evenly on both sides, you can slowly release, come up. If you're on your back, just bring both knees in and rock from side to side. Those of us on all fours might shake that left leg back. And then we're all going to meet in a seated position. If you have a strap or a scarf, I'll just grab my scarf. You can grab that now. We're going to work with some forward bends. You might also like to sit up onto a blanket or a cushion if you like a bit of extra support under the sit bones. So let's take the legs wide, Upavista Konasana, wide-legged forward bend. Not an easy pose for a lot of us. So we want to keep the feet flex, toes pointing up rather than little toe side of the foot falling down to the mat. We want to press the calves and the back of the thighs down. And to begin, we're going to come over to the left side. So you might like to pop your strap or your scarf around the ball of the left foot, turn over that side. If you don't have any support, just hands on either side of that thigh. And as we breathe in, we might raise the arms up or just hold the strap. And as we exhale, we come over this left side. Now, what often happens when we do this is that the right buttock cheek lifts off the mat. So can you press that down into the mat? Keep some awareness running through that right leg, right foot. Softening your shoulders, no force. Just breath flowing. Good. And then let's inhale, stretch the arms up, come back to center, palms together, hands down through your center. And then we'll try the other side. Not forgetting about this left leg now. So either hands on either side of the thigh or holding your strap. Deep breath in. And coming forward. So again, watch what happens to that left buttock here. Keep the breath flowing. Face relaxed. Inhale, come up, come back to center, palms together. And exhale. And release. Bring the legs together. Let's work now with Janushirasana. So for this one, we're going to bring the right foot into the groin. If this knee is up high, we can give it a bit of support. Pop the bolster under it or a cushion or a rolled up blanket. Left foot flexed. So again, either hands on either side of that left thigh or holding onto your strap, sitting up nice and tall. Deep breath in. And as we exhale, we fold forward. Remembering that the forward folds are associated with letting go, of softening, becoming a little more humble, surrendering the ego, and also becoming a little quieter inside. Letting go of the outside world and retreating inward. Inhale, stretch the arms up, palms together, and exhale. Release. Stretch the right leg out. You can give the knee a little bit of a rub if you would like that. And then let's bend the left leg in. Giving it a bit of support if that's useful this morning, and perhaps strap around the ball of the right foot. So again, sitting up nice and tall. Deep breath in. And coming forward. Just soften the shoulders, soften the upper back. Let the breath flow. Stretch the arms up, palms together. And exhale. Release the left leg out. Our final forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Either strap around the balls of both feet or hands alongside both hips. So again, nice tall spine, lengthening up through the crown top. Deep breath in. And start to fold forward. Might like to close the eyes. Let's release. Inhale, raise the arms up, palms together. And exhale. And release. We're going to come to lie down now into a semi-supine position, legs stepped up close to the buttocks. Just make sure that your head, neck, and spine are in a straight line, your arms down alongside the body. Just take a breath or two here, observing what's going on inside of you. All the different levels of your being, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And if we think of our internal dialogue as being that radio NS, as Thich Nhat Hanh calls it, what would the volume be on that radio station for you now? How loud would it be? So just press the palms, excuse me, into the mat alongside your hips. Exhale, all breath here. Press the lower back down, tuck the chin forward, and on your next inhale, just raising that right arm up overhead. A little pause at the top. And as you exhale, lower the arm down and pause empty. Let's do 2 more of these on the right side. So breathing in, right arm lifts overhead. We pause full. And exhale, we lower the arm and pause empty. Again. And then we'll do the same on the left side. So when you're ready, breathe in, sweep the left arm overhead, pause full. Tuck the chin forward, press the lower back down. And as you exhale, lower the left arm and pause empty. 2 more. When you finish, let's do 1 more round, both arms lifting overhead this time. Pausing full. And exhale, lower the arms down. Pause empty. 2 more. Listen to the sound of your breath. When you finish, take a resting breath. Then we're going to take our fingers up under the head, just to the hairline, the base of the skull. And just using your fingertips to massage from the middle of the head out towards, excuse me, your ears, looking for any particularly tight, sore spots. And if you do find one or two, perhaps spending a little bit of extra time there. Really let the head be heavy, let the face relax. The mouth, the jaws free of tension, the eyes sinking back into their sockets towards the brain. Also perhaps noticing one side might feel a lot tighter or stiffer than the other. Just taking note if this is the case. No judgment. An area where we can store so much tension. And the nadis, the energy channels run through this area, can become very constricted. Energy is not flowing freely, and it can lead to a lot of headaches. So this little massage is a good way to free up the flow of energy. Good. Okay, now before we go into Shavasana, we're just going to work with a gentle twist. If you'd like to, you can keep the hands under the head, interlacing the fingers, elbows out wide, and you can work with the twist this way. If this is a bit intense for your shoulders, you can have the arms out at shoulder height, palms facing up or down. Feet can be on the mat, or if you want a stronger twist, feet are in the air. Deep breath in, and we'll lower the knees over to the right side and just hold here. Head may turn to the left, or stay in a neutral position if that's best for your neck. And just breathe. Just try to soften here as much as you can. Letting everything slow down. And then breathe your knees back to center and take them over to the left side. Head may turn to the right. And come back to center. You can bring the knees into the chest, give yourselves a lovely hug and little rock from side to side. And then you can set yourself up for relaxation, Shavasana. You might sigh the breath away. And you might begin by saying to yourselves a few times, I recognize the need for silence and stillness in my life. Just let the body settle. Let the breath settle. Let the body feel very, very heavy. I invite you now to imagine that you're in a beautiful place in nature, sitting beside a gently flowing stream or river. This may be a stream or river that you know, or it might be one in your imagination. Use all of your senses to familiarize yourself with this place. Noticing sounds, the sound of flowing water, perhaps birds, other creatures. Noticing smells, tastes, the feeling of the earth beneath you, space all around you, the sky above. As you gaze at the river or stream, you notice that there are many leaves floating on the water's surface, leaves that have gently floated down from overhanging trees. So for the next little while, whenever you observe a thought come into your mind, place that thought on one of the leaves and let it float away. Do this with each thought, whether pleasurable, painful, or neutral. And if you find that your thoughts momentarily stop, just continue watching the stream or the river, enjoying the space, the gap between thoughts. Allow the stream to flow at its own pace. Don't try to speed it up and rush your thoughts along. You're not trying to get rid of your thoughts. You're allowing them to come and go at their own pace. And if your mind says, I'm bored or I'm not doing this right, place those thoughts on leaves too and let them pass. From time to time, your thoughts may hook you and distract you from being fully present. This is normal. As soon as you realize that you've become sidetracked, gently bring your attention back to the practice. If the same thought comes up again, watch it float by a second or third or fourth time. If you would like to remain lying down, feel free to stay as you are. Those of you ready to resume your day, just gently release this practice now and start to bring your attention back into the here and now, deepening the breath. Bringing some movement into your fingers and your toes. Might like to stretch the arms up overhead. Do what feels good. And then carefully roll over to one side. Just curl up into a little ball for a moment. Hug your knees in. I'd like to share with you a final passage from Eckhart Tolle. Every time you create a gap in the stream of mind, the light of your consciousness grows stronger. One day you may catch yourself smiling at the voice in your head. This means that you no longer take the content of your mind all that seriously, as your sense of self does not depend on it. So if you'd like to gently come up now into a comfortable seated position, we'll close with one Om. You can bring your hands together at the heart in Namaskar Mudra. You might like to close the eyes. Exhale all breath. And then taking a deep breath in. Ooh. Gently bow your head down towards your heart. And lift your head up. Namaste. Thank you for joining me this morning. Have a beautiful day, and I'll look forward to seeing you all again soon.